Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 14. I got some top running backs for you this week for NFL DFS on Draftkings, and we are going to look at all of them. Now, usually I start off, and I'm going to do it again this week, focusing on the 5-box running backs. Guys who are playing at home and favored and have an expectation of 20 plus touches are included in the pass game and do get those very valuable inside the 5 touches. They will check off every one of those 5 boxes. That's what we are looking for primarily. And sometimes those guys are going to be the chalk. Usually those guys are the chalk, but sometimes they aren't. And when they aren't, that leads you to a good running back in a very good fantasy friendly spot who should exceed their fantasy expectation at a really low percentage. So it's a way for you to kind of look at a slate. Does that mean you have to only play running backs who are favored and at home? No, it does not mean that. But it is a way to identify some good low played, under rostered guys for tournaments. And then we're going to take a look at some other guys. I think I got 3 for you this week that I think are very good plays as well. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video. Be sure that you subscribe. Okay? Be sure you subscribe to the channel. We are approaching 50,000 subs. I'm going to talk to you about that after the bump, but be sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notifications bell. Leave me a reply down below with a running back or 2 that you're considering this week. And again, the 10% rule for those likes is in effect. If this video gets 10,000 views, I need 1,000 plus likes. That's up to you. So if you see that we're under 10% anytime, you got to drop that like on the video. You got to hit it. Costs you nothing. Helps the channel out. I really appreciate it. I try to thank you guys in the replies as much as I possibly can. So I appreciate you being here, and let's go.
He's a legend.
As I said in the opening, don't forget to subscribe. We are approaching 50,000 amazing subscribers here on the main channel. And when we get there, we're going to be doing a massive giveaway for YouTube subs. We're going to be giving away some 1-month subs to rotogrinders.com, 1-month subs to establishtheRun.com. We're going to got some Draftkings stuff that we're going to give away. We have not nailed down exactly what that's going to be, but Draftkings is going to be throwing in as well as Underdog Fantasy, some tickets or merch, t-shirts, hats, whatever from Underdog Fantasy as well. So tons of giveaways. All you got to do is subscribe. If you are not subscribed, then I know that about 41% of y'all that watch these videos, and a lot of you are returning guys, don't hit that subscribe button. We're about 400 away. That's all we need, 400 subs. Let's get there by this weekend. See what you can do. The Smiz Gang Listener League is up again this week. $32,500 in prizes. Absolutely no rake. $10, 3 max. Make sure that you get your butts in there. And I will shout out the winners on the second channel, Al Smizzle Games, as soon as that recap video hits every Monday afternoon. Our first running back this week for the 5-box guys, the Chargers are 10-point favorites over the Giants at home at SoFi, and Austin Ekeler is good. He's good at football. Scores a lot of fantasy points. He's 8,300 though. You're going to have to pay up to get him, which has tended to lead to guys being a little more contrarian with the pricing, the way that it's been on DraftKings at running back. Tons of value plays between 5K and 6,500 every single week on DraftKings, which means that these guys that are 8K and above have come in at lower percentages than usual. Usually a player like this in this spot would usually be, I've said usually a lot, somewhere around 20 to 30%, but in recent weeks they've been 15% and down. So paying up to be contrarian has definitely been a solid way to go about attacking tournaments this year, and nothing is going to be different in week 14 when it comes to Austin Ekeler. Joe Mixon has been an absolute stud the last month and a half, right? Since like week 6 at Detroit. Like early in the season looked great against Minnesota, then like they were not committing to like really running the football, and then they said, you know what? Screw all these rumors about our offensive line being bad. We're just going to commit to running the football. We're going to keep the pressure off of Joe Burrow by doing that, and really focusing this offense around Joe Mixon. They've accomplished it. The problem is in games that they win by a lot, Mixon has been underutilized in the passing game, with the exception being this game against the Chargers at home last week. Right? Every other week he's had 4, 5, 6 targets, but like it's sporadic. It really yo-yos up and down. I think he's got like a 9% target rate on the year. You don't have to fact check me. It's somewhere around the 8-9%, which is not what we want to see. You'd like to see him around the 12 to 14% target rate, but they have so many talented guys on the outside considering that they've got Chase and they've got Higgins and also Boyd manning the slot, and then Uzoma soaks up some of the targets as well. Mixon kind of gets throttled out sometimes. It's weird that it happens in a game that they were losing. They still handed him the ball 19 times though, so 19 touches last week. Expects to get 20 here at home against San Francisco's very depleted defense, but this game does look like it's a possible shootout. A total of 47.5, and the Bengals favored by 1.5 in this spot at home. They're going to want to get things right again. They're going to want to get the ball in Mixon's hands. He did salvage himself a little bit with a touchdown last week, but like 1xing is not what we're looking for. But if you look at this game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 7, he's scored greater than 25 points on DraftKings. Really solid place to go again at 7,700. Uncle Lenny. It's not playoff Lenny yet. But if I told you in August that Leonard Fournette was going to be the league leader in terms of running back receptions this year, you'd have just basically said, get out. You got to go. This is, there's something messing with you. It's too much. But here we are. 7,400 at home against Buffalo, whose defense has been getting shredded by running backs recently. Now, obviously, that game against the Patriots, like, I'm not saying give them a pass defensively for that, but it's not like they could throw the ball with the 40-mile-an-hour winds. But they also got shredded by any team that gets after it really hard, has a solid running game that they're going to plan around. Buffalo has not been able recently to deal with that, whether it was Indianapolis and Jonathan Taylor, whether it was on Monday night against the Patriots. And while they're not going to just straight out get out there and establish it, they don't need to. Every single target that Leonard Fournette gets is basically worth 2.8 rush attempts. So I don't care if they don't get out there and just try and pound the ball with Lenny 25 times. As long as he's getting these like 6, 7, 8, 9 target games, his value is going to be immense. They're also utilizing him a lot more when they get inside the 10 and 20 yard lines in the red zone, not end zone targets, but he's one of the league leaders in terms of inside the 5 carries, as well as now being utilized once they get in close in the passing game. So correlates better with Tom Brady and Tom Brady stacks than I would have believed early in the season. Certainly getting enough usage to use in Brady stacks now. And that leverage opportunity, I'm playing Fournette to leverage off of Brady stacks, is kind of gone because Brady stacks are being heavily played and Leonard Fournette as leverage is being heavily played. So the way to kind of leverage that, I guess, would be to include Fournette in your Brady doubles and go with Fournette and one of the pass catchers as well as Brady in your lineup. I would not use all 3 of them in any situation, but it's not an either or, as all of them are going to be highly played, and rightfully so. Javonte Williams. Now, assuming that Melvin Gordon, we talk about the assumption of rational coaching, right? This is the assumption of rational estate planning. I don't know, of contract planning, or assumption of rational agents. If you're Melvin Gordon's agent and this season's done and he's had a good year, it's not like MG3 has been bad. He's been good. He missed last week. He probably wanted to play. I totally understand. But like, you're an unrestricted free agent this year. Why would you want him running out there for the last 4 weeks of the season? 4 or 5 weeks of the season, knowing that he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Just take a couple of weeks off, unless there's some massive contract incentives for like games played or snaps played or yardage or touchdowns, something like that. Like, just take some time. Melvin, just chill out. Let Javonte spin, please. He is what we thought he was. 23 carries, 9 targets. Javonte, the sound you hear is him just stampeding up 2022 draft boards after these last few performances. He's exactly what we thought he'd be. He is one of the best tackle evaders, one of the best tackle breakers, one of the best yards after first contact guys. It's tremendous in the passing game, getting a lot of inside the 5 work. We know that he can handle a large workload after his 29 touch performance against Kansas City in Kansas City. And now they get Detroit at home and they're favored. Javonte Williams is sub 6K. If Gordon misses again, Javonte Williams is going to be the highest played player on this slate. Saquon Barkley is not in a bad spot. The Chargers have been very giving to opposing running backs. He's, again, only 6K. Going to get a lot of usage in the passing game, as we've seen their last 3 games, as they're down a lot of different weapons. He's still in that has to break a big one for me, right? So, like, for Saquon Barkley, he's not going to get there on volume alone. Now, he could get there on volume alone to, like, pay off the salary, right? He might get you like 15, 17 points at 6K. If he scores a touchdown, he'll exceed value based on his usage in the passing game. But like, in order to be like a tournament winner and get you 25 to 35 fantasy points, he's going to have to break like a 60-yard, 65-yard touchdown. Luckily, that's part of his skill set. So hopefully if he can pull that off, he will smash this week. If not, he might slightly disappoint you and get you like 15 or 17 points, but he's going to be in our top plays at running back this week. Elijah Mitchell absolutely never lies. The volume is there, and that's what we need to focus on more than anything else. None of us are talent evaluators. That's something that needs to be addressed on fantasy football Twitter. And when I say none of us, I mean like 99.9%. There's some people on fantasy football Twitter or draft Twitter or whatever, who actually are quite good at talent evaluation, but they're few and far between. I do not claim to be a talent evaluator. I am here because I'm good at a game. And I've been good at a game and proved that for a 10-year sample size in daily fantasy. And the one thing that I do best, or when I do best at daily fantasy, is when I stop trying to pretend like I know this guy is a good player, this guy is talented at football, this guy is this and that. Volume matters more than anything. So when I focus on just the volume and those specific things, like I talked about at the top of the show, inside the 5 carries, usage in the passing game, expectation of 20 plus touches, all those things lead me to way more success in daily fantasy. So if I told you in August, Elijah Mitchell is going to be a great player, you'd be like, yeah, sure. Who the hell is he? Doesn't matter. This part, the name, does not matter. All that matters is the volume. This column here, targets, attempts, touchdowns, and the things that lead to touchdowns, which are those very valuable inside the 5 carries. Elijah Mitchell is a great play again this week, although he's priced up, and rightfully so, to 6,700. Josh Jacobs is our final play going up against Kansas City. With the injury to Kenyon Drake, I would assume that Josh Jacobs, not unlike David Montgomery did last season, will pick up more work and he'll get more snaps and more usage in the passing game, both of which are very good things in terms of fantasy. He was already a high volume running back, but now he gets those more valuable targets added to his work, and possibly 80 to 85% plus of the share of running back snaps for the Raiders. They had already been cycling him in more in the passing game in previous weeks, and now I don't think they have any choice at all. So 6,200 is far too cheap a price against Kansas City, who we just saw JAVONTE just wreak havoc against with 9 targets. I'm not saying he's going to get 9 targets, but a floor of 5 seems extremely reasonable. And 6, 7, 8 is just value town for a 6K running back who's also going to get inside the 5 carries. So love Josh Jacobs at his price this week. That's going to wrap up the top running backs video. I hope that you guys liked it. Drop a like on the video. Let's keep it over 10%. Subscribe to the channel so that I can give away all these great prizes to you guys. And I will catch you on the next video, which should be right there.
He's a legend.